Josh Heupel's approach to Tennessee's offense is not a concern. I did the numbers. Tennessee has been 1 or 2 in the SEC in total offense since he took over, except for the Joe Milton year, and they only dropped to 7. So I just wanted to look at those numbers, and you can read it on offthehooksports.com right now, because to me, there's been an overreaction to Josh Heupel's offense not scoring 58 points a game in 2024 with a first-year starting quarterback, and the year before with a guy that really didn't grasp what was going on. So now you could knock him for the talent evaluation, and maybe Nico should have played more in 2023. I would argue that for sure. But if the worst you're going to do, 7th in the SEC in a 4-year span, you can roll with that.
So
here he goes.
I disagree. Now, and look, I'm a Josh Heupel defender in a lot of ways. I think we're short selling what the offense has done. But I think what Josh Heupel, the principles of his offense, the roots of his offense and what he wants to run, I have no problem with it. My catch is now I'm gonna quote Dave's favorite assistant coach, but who actually said something brilliant one time. But was talking about preparing for Spurrier's offense and the trick plays of Spurrier. But he said, you got to worry about the meat and potatoes before you think about the dessert. And I'm like, but that doesn't mean the dessert's not a factor. Now, Josh Heupel's meat and potatoes, they're golden. They're golden. The offense he runs, the system he runs, the way he adapts, the meat and potatoes are there. Okay?
Yeah.
They're good.
Nobody has meat and potatoes like Josh Heupel. Thank you. That sounds great.
Okay. How about this? Josh Heupel, say it's a steak. Say Josh Heupel's offense is a steak.
Say it's twig and berries.
Perfectly cooked steak. Well, like decently cooked. And when I say perfectly or well cooked, I mean medium rare. If you get anything like more cooked than medium rare, you're not eating a steak. You might as well get a burger. But anyways, Josh Heupel's steak perfectly cooked. You need a little seasoning. You got to throw in the right amount of seasoning, though. And that's where the creativity comes. And this is where I think Josh Heupel is lacking. See, when Alex Golesh was there was a scripted first drive pretty much every game. And it wasn't necessarily the meat and potatoes of the offense, but it was a strong first impression. We're going to catch this team off guard with certain play calling that we do, and we're going to make sure we set the tone early. And they had so much creativity on those drives. I think they're lacking that with Joey Halzle. And I got to be honest, I think that's where Josh Heupel needs to look elsewhere. Josh Heupel needs to find a guy like Alex Golesh who works with him to run the offense and can do the day-to-day stuff, but can add the sizzle necessary that, Dave, what did I say to you yesterday? That another smart person, that Butch Jones, I'm kidding, but something Butch Jones said that is smart and true. A lot of times football comes down to 3 or 4 plays a game and you don't know when they're going to happen. That sizzle, that creativity, that's those 3 or 4 plays. And
so let's put the poll question up, and that is, basically here's what we're asking, because you have John Gruden that's going to talk to the high school coaches. I don't know what he's going to say, but anyway, he could also look at Tennessee's offense. So should Tennessee bring somebody in from outside to take a look at their offense, which I'm sure Gruden will do? They'll spend some time doing that, I would think, unless they just hate each other. Or is Tennessee's offense just fine? So you figure out a way to phrase that, and that is bank on it. I say that Tennessee's offense is just fine based off the numbers that I pulled, and you can check out at offthehooksports.com. Caleb says, not so fast. Member FDIC, life made better. Commercial Bank.
Commercial Bank is your neighborhood bank. What makes us different from other banks? We understand that every customer has unique opportunities, challenges, and financial concerns. We don't expect you to fit into the same box as the next person or business. Whether it's purchasing a home, saving for your child's future, or planning for your next vacation, we're with you every step of the way to navigate life's big decisions.
All right, Timothy, we appreciate the super chat. Said Hooker, when I said Heupel's offense is not creative, I was talking about where the under center, where the RB slants, wide receiver slants, curls, and comeback routes and jet sweeps are. But I think that's part of the design of this offense you don't want to overcomplicate things because you make a lot of reads and you can make your quarterback look really stupid if your wide receiver runs the wrong route.
I agree with that. Now, I want to address Timothy McGee's super chat real quick, but I want to bring up, I'm going to dive deeper into your stats, Dave, because there's a problem with Heupel's stats, and you want to know what they are?
Well, he inflates them.
He inflates them against non-SEC competition. Guess where Tennessee scoring offense ranked in SEC play this year?
Last year?
Yeah, 2024.
Okay. I'm going to say 5th.
Ninth in the bottom half of the SEC. But are you ready for this, Dave? It gets worse. Their scoring offense ranked in the bottom half of the SEC, even though they did not play the 3 best defenses in the SEC, and they did play the 3 worst defenses in the SEC per number. The average ranking of the scoring defenses in the SEC play that Tennessee played last year was 10th. And they had the 9th ranked scoring offense in SEC play. I'm sorry, but that's a really, really, really bad look for an offense. And I think the issue comes with there weren't those 4 or 5 sizzle plays to make a difference each game. To Timothy super chat real quick, just want to share that. He says, Hooker, when I said Heupel's offense is not created, I was talking about where the under center, where's the RB slants, wide receiver slants, curls, and comeback routes and jet sweeps. Yeah, there were some slants last year with the wide receivers, not as much with the running back slants though, and not a lot of curl routes. I do kind of agree with that.
Well, let's throw a couple of other things up there on our message board. Dylan says, let's be honest, the main issue is Heupel is running an up-tempo offense with no tempo. That's part of the problem. I agree with that, but I think that you were so susceptible at the tackle position, you were afraid to do that with the injuries to Hurd and Campbell. So Timothy, nice enough to throw another super chat in there that'll go to Quincy Calhoun's college fund as long as Caleb doesn't gamble it away. Then Nico is no Manning or Ainge or Clausen because they could do it. I will tell you that I think Manning, Ainge, and Clausen could run this offense at a high level. And it wouldn't stun me at the end of the day if we looked at Nico and his tenure as short of those guys. I think you're talking about the 3, well, especially the 3 best of the modern era, in my opinion. I don't know if you would count Condridge in that. I know you've got a definition for modern.
I mean, there's Dobbs, Heath Schuler. There's a few guys.
But to run this offense, to get to that.
To run this offense? No, there's 2 ahead of them. Ahead of all 3 of them.
Oh,
Heath Schuler and T. Martin would be superb in this offense. I mean, they'd be flawless. Because I think even you said T. Martin had a better deep ball than Peyton Manning, didn't you? And
oh yeah, when you showed up to practice, it was like, who just launched that thing?
And Heath Schuler had a better deep ball than Peyton Manning too, didn't he? So yeah, I mean, those were the 2 best deep ball passers in the modern era. Third would be Tyler Bray. Jonathan Crompton's in there too. The problem with Tyler Bray is probably a little too slow. You got to have a little bit of mobility in this offense, I think. But look, I mean, I'll be honest with you. If you gave Jonathan Crompton a full 4 years in this offense, I mean, he probably could be really, really good.
Yeah, but I don't think you have to be mobile in this offense. I think it helps, but like that would negate Clausen, basically, right? I think Clausen would be very good in this offense. He wouldn't run much, obviously, because his shoes were always tied together. But I mean, Caleb, I think he would get it out quick and make quick reads.
I might go with Clausen. I think you're probably right with Clausen. Clausen had a pretty good deep ball also.
Yes.
So, Ainge and Manning we're talking about, their deep balls weren't bad, but they weren't like Hall of Fame worthy. Like the guys we're talking, like Tyler Bray had an incredible deep ball. And also, look, again, that's why I brought up Crompton. Whatever else you want to say about Crompton, he had an arm. I mean, he could throw it deep. And I think a lot of quarterbacks, funny enough, in Tennessee's history could work well. You know who wouldn't work well in this system? You know who would struggle the most in this system of great Tennessee quarterbacks?
I don't.
Josh Dobbs. He would not be good in this system.
Yeah, but I could have come up with a lot. I could have come up with Tim Rattay. There's a lot of quarterbacks.
Quarterbacks that are good that Tennessee fans like. that wouldn't be good in the system. Josh Dobbs did not have the arm strength. Arm strength is probably number one and something you need in this system.